Until a few months ago, we had never visited a math class quite like the one Mary Trombley was teaching.
She took the lessons of geometry and, armed with her sewing machine, had her students stitching together colors and angles and designs. 207's Peggy Kaiser went back to her classroom to see how it all came out.
When we went to Mary Trombley's classroom at Wentworth School in Scarborough, math class was revolving around this. Mrs. Trombley, an avid quilter, learned about the Homeless Memorial Blanket Project, an effort led by Pat LaMarche to collect blankets, display them on the west lawn of our nation's capital, and raise awareness of homelessness. Pat LaMarche is a familiar face to some Mainers. She twice ran for governor in Maine as a Green independent candidate.
Good. And there you go.
Rather than just making a quilt on her own, Mary Trombley decided to include her students, weaving together math lessons for 3 classes of 54 fifth graders, teaching angles and measurements using all the lines and symmetry of quilting.
Quilting is 100% math, and it's all geometry and spatial reasoning and planning and symmetry and all those things.
The students learned how to use shapes and colors to design a quilt square, then inch by inch stitched those squares together. As squares were finished, Mrs. Trombley pieced them together, creating 2 quilt tops.
It was like putting together a puzzle. When we were putting them together, it was really beautiful. And the colors all came together. It was super pretty. And all the patterns also were really nice. Like there were flowers on one and then like stars on the other.
This was a busy place. As kids finished their classwork, they'd use their extra time to focus on their quilt square.
It wasn't the only thing we did, but it was the background of everything we were doing.
And this week, it was time to present the finished products to LaMarche herself.
But we wanted to make sure that we got to meet Pat in person and give her the quilts in person and connect all the dots together, right?
LaMarche's initiative is now a nationwide effort, with quilts and blankets coming in from all 50 states. She never misses an opportunity to raise awareness for her mission.
And 1.4 million homeless school children exist right now, according to the Department of Education, which means there are about 10 million homeless people experiencing homelessness in the United States. The people who are going through this are going to go through it with all of you. And I appreciate that so much, and I'm so grateful.
The quilts were a community effort. People donated fabric, thread, and money to buy materials.
That's what's so nice about a quilt is you're literally piecing together people's support.
And after about 4.5 months, the quilts are ready, each square embroidered with a student's name. Whoever ends up wrapping themselves in these quilts will know plenty of eager hands went into making them come to life.
It makes me feel really good that our creativity and hard work are going to go to help keep somebody warm and safe.
I never thought that, especially just being 11, I'm already in my 3rd month of being 11, I think. Being able to do that at this age just makes me feel like anyone can make a difference.
Just to have something positive that the kids could put their energy into really helped. I think emotionally helped, and I think it made us feel like we can't fix everything, but we can do this. We can do one thing. Teaching needs to have a purpose. It can't be because we said so, and it can't be because it's the next lesson, and it can't be because it's on the test. It has to have a meaning to it for the kids to buy in and for us to feel passionate about it. Say blankets! Say blankets! This brought all that. This was what I was supposed to teach, but in a different way and with a purpose.
Wow, I love that it was more than just geometry that these kids are learning about.
Yeah, and it's that classic thing that we hear about and we don't always act on is, you're not going to solve all the world's problems, but you can maybe try to solve one, or at least address one, and make a difference.
And do it in a beautiful way, with a quilt.
And I loved the student who said that she's in her 3rd month of being 11. It's just the best line.
The Homeless Memorial Blanket Project is expected to include about 500 blankets, and the quilts from the students will be part of the exhibition.
After they are displayed, the quilts will be brought back to Maine and be given to a family struggling with homelessness, or perhaps a family being resettled into a new home.
If you would like to support the Homeless Memorial Blanket Project, we will include a link to it on the 207 section of our website and our app.